another planning video.
Walt Disney World
As many of you know, me and my best friend tend to take trips once a year to just catch up and reconnect. As you know, lovely girls trips involve. This time around, we decided to return back to the lovely Walt Disney World for a third time. So this video is pretty much going to follow along with kind of how we decided to book and plan our first Walt Disney trip on property. So I always suggest people to, if you have the ability, to go on the Walt Disney World website, because it's just so much easier and they have everything kind of mapped out for you, as you can see. So first thing you want to do is click Get Started. Now naturally they're going to take you to explore the resort hotels. Usually well, in the past, we tend to stay away from resort stays, but this time, we were like, you know what, the third time, let's have the full experience of Walt Disney World. We are going to stay on property. Now, another reason why I love to be on their website is because they always have somebody there to chat with you, to answer any questions you may have, which I ended up having some questions. Excuse me. First thing you want to do, as you can see, is put in the dates that you're considering going and how many people are going to go on the trip. So usually it's just us two lovely gals going on the trip. Now, if money is no option, I say pick the one that best suits you and what your needs are. If money was no option, I would love to stay in one of the grand hotels, but considering how much me and my lovely friend make, we tend to go towards the cheaper side, so that way our money goes towards our experiences and adventures rather than where our luggage will be sitting most of the day, because we always like to stay out of where we're staying and have fun instead of just sitting in the hotel. But Walt Disney World has a plethora of options to choose from, all types of styles, all types of experiences. Just by looking at the pictures, you can kind of get a gist on what the vibe is, what the environment is. So that's why I say just pick the best one that works for you. But for us, we're going to look at a value hotel, just to, you know, get, before I forget, whenever you're on the Walt Disney website as well, they always keep it up to date with things you should know, like park reservations, if they're requiring face coverings or not. The last two times we went, they did require face coverings. The second time, it was only if you were in enclosed areas. So that's another thing to keep in mind is their app as well as their website is pretty like up to date with requirements if you're going to attend and go. So I always say just keep an eye out for that, just in case something happens. So another great thing about the website is they have things to do. I have any kind of questions that may pop up. I love their Plan Disney section, because any questions that you think may be silly or stupid, someone else might have that. If you have any questions in regards to the Genie Plus, that's on there, as much as to explain as much as possible. But whenever we planned our trip, we went through the whole packaging system, which I feel like it's more cost effective. So if you choose like Pop Century and do a park a day around March or so, or January or so, you're going to see that it's roughly that much. Now keep in mind, we are 2 adults. So divide that number in half, and it's quite cost effective when you think about it. Because instead of paying that much per family household, me and her, we each pay a half. So ladies and friends who are out there deciding if you want to travel and you're like, oh, Walt Disney World's too expensive, whatever you book, you can divide that by how many people are going. Another thing that they're still doing as of right now in 2022 is park reservations. A lot of people are booking and showing up without park reservations and then being sad that they can't enter the park because they don't have a park reservation. So before you even consider booking, have at least 3 dates in mind and check their park reservations. And I mean, click each day, because let's say you want to go to each park and on the 4th day you didn't realize that the time you were checking things it was already yellow. So by the time you go back and book, it's sold out. There's no more park reservations. And then you'll be sad. Like already for October 10th and 12th, it's already in yellow. So if someone wanted to try to go to Boo Bash extra late and they're booking like now, they probably out of luck. Because yeah, the reservations can sell out, which is kind of interesting. You would think if the reservations are sold out and when you get tickets you have to pick certain days, that they wouldn't, like a little pop-up wouldn't come up and say, hey, there's no park reservations for that day. But I digress. So I always say better safe than sorry. So before you book anything, have 3 dates in mind, so that way you can kind of feel how things are going. So whenever you have everything in order on lovely Walt Disney, you see your subtotal. They do give you the option to compare vacation offers. So let's say you have that one offer and you want to, do some clicking and maneuvering and want to compare it to another offer. The website allows you to do that, so that way you can line everything up next to each other before you make your for sure decisions. So I kind of like that about it, that you can honestly compare things instead of just saying, oh, this is a good price, this is a good time. Another thing I like is whenever you book Walt Disney, the pricing and all that will stay the same. So as you're making your payments, if the price goes up, your booking price won't stop. So I do like that. Oh, another fun fact to many people who haven't been to Walt Disney World in a long time, the Star Wars Galactic Experience is open. So that's another hotel you may stay at. Oh, and also another fun fact, there is a chance that if you want to sit there and stay at somewhere like the Grand Floridian for a day and then switch over to your Pop Century type hotels, you can do that, and the cast members will move your luggage for you. So if you want to stay somewhere fancy for like a birthday or a wedding and then save money the rest of the days you're there and move somewhere else within the resort, they will actually accommodate that for you. So that's another fun fact I've learned as I've been planning. But whenever you're planning, if you're a first time visitor, definitely use the website to your value, because it's all mapped out there to tell you events, when to go, and if you go, what to experience. Like our very first time that me and my best friend went, we went like during Christmas time. So we were at Hollywood Studios on Christmas. We had no idea what to expect. Now, it was kind of right amidst the moments where COVID was kind of dwindling down. So there wasn't a lot of parades and stuff. But it was still a magical experience. They had mini parades. It wasn't as elaborate as the traditional ones were. But it was still amazing. So if you're not into surprising, you kind of want to know what you're getting into, go on the website to see, what exactly you can expect and what festivals are here and that. Because they tend to have like at least 2 or 3 festivals or something going on per season. Now, I also like the fact that they let you know, it like depending on what you want to do, how many days you'll need. Like for us, we've always done a day per park, and we've managed to ride almost all the rides. We didn't see shows, but we managed to ride all the rides. Another good tip when you're planning is, there's nothing wrong with doing your research. I'm a big YouTube watcher, and I love watching Walt Disney World YouTube videos to kind of get a feel or to kind of get certain questions answered. I love that a lot of people are breaking down Genie Plus for everyone. They're using it and showing you what to do as they're using it, so that way when it's your first time using it, You don't be taken by surprise or frustrated. You'll be less frustrated. Another thing I like that about YouTube is that they actually have resort tours. So let's say you're really on the fence about what resorts you want to stay at because you're looking at the price, you're looking at the pictures, and in your mind you're like, it's just not worth it. Well, that was me. I never thought staying on property was really worth it until I started watching YouTube videos of the resorts and people touring the resorts to show you what your money's paying for. No matter what, you can sit there and look at these pictures all day, but when you're watching someone walk through the actual room, it kind of changes your mind a bit. Like for me, me and my best friend, we've stayed in Hyatts, we've stayed at Lanquitas, we've stayed at Hilton's, we've stayed in Airbnb, boarding houses, we've stayed in tiny houses, we've stayed in all kinds of places. We've stayed anything, almost anywhere, right? So when it comes to hotels, we know what we want, we know what to expect, and we know the value of what we should be paying for that experience. So with Walt Disney, we decided to pick a value resort. The one that we happened to decide on was All Star Music. It was a tie between Pop Century and All Star Music. Now, for us, we're planning on going at the towards the middle of next year. So, when looking at these resorts, we were like, what's the season gonna be like? Will school be out? Which is a yes, school will be out. What can we expect? So for 7 days, because we always take a week, even if we're only going to Walt Disney World for 4 days, we tend to spend about 7 days wherever we go. So with a base ticket and 7 days at Pop Century, this is how the pricing's tending to hit. At about $2,747.14. Keep in mind, this is divided between 2 people. So if you're going as a group, it could be divided by 3 people or 4 people. For us, just divide it in half. You also have to keep in mind that if you're going to be buying and partaking in Genie Plus, that's an extra $15 if you're doing the Genie Plus. Which again, yes, Walt Disney website explains it very thoroughly, but it's something about people using it and showing you, it tends to just make more sense when you watch the videos on YouTube. And honestly, I mean, in my opinion, they're credible because they're actually using it and showing you at the park how to use it and how they're using it. But let's say that's just still too much. I always tend to double check Airbnb to see what they're offering, to see, if there's any new hosts available. The previous host that we've stayed at was immaculate. I actually loved it. I wouldn't mind doing it again. But like I said, this time around, we just decided, we've stayed at the hotels nearby. We've stayed at Airbnbs. Let's see what staying on property is like. And just with the pricing compared to when you think about how much you're paying for Lyfts or how much you're paying for Ubers compared to the amount you're putting into the room and the free shuttling service to the parks, how much money you're saving versus driving and paying for the parking, which now hotel guests have to pay for parking. You just tend to save a little bit more money flying in, paying a Lyft to take you to and from the resort, and then shuttling or monorailing or skylining to the park each day versus having to Lyft. But Airbnb is always a good choice. But be smart about these Airbnbs. Always check the reviews. Make sure they're up-to-date reviews. Make sure they're diverse reviews. Look at the pictures. Look at, kind of get a feel of the area. You don't get the address when you book it, But you can kind of be smart about it. Read through those reviews. People tend to be very, very honest about the reviews. Look at the pictures. Make sure, they don't seem like dated pictures. You can even Google explore or Google map the area to see if maybe, things are just lining up, because they will tell you the area that they're located. Don't be afraid to message the host. If you message the host and it takes them longer than 4 days, then that's not the Airbnb for you. You want someone, who can at least contact you within about 4 hours. People have lives. 4 or 5 hours can be able to correspond with you. I say that because if there's an emergency with the Airbnb, you want someone who can message you and contact you in a timely fashion so you're not stranded or in harm's way. So, I would definitely say to keep that in mind, especially if you're traveling with a big group. Now, in my opinion, if you're traveling with any number of 3 people or more, I would say get an Airbnb because it's more cost effective. For 2 people, the resort wouldn't be an issue. But if you're traveling with 4 people, that's 4 bottoms in one toilet. That's 4 bottoms in one shower. That's 4 bottoms in a little space. Keep that in mind. After walking all day and having fun at Walt Disney all day, people can be irritated. People can be tired. Emotions can start flying high. So just keep that in mind. And then plus, they have so many Airbnbs now that are verified, Disney themed, and just are way better accommodating for your particular needs. I mean, look at this one. This one has a Star Wars room, a Lion King room, kitchen, patio, laundry room, everything you may need, and it's only $129 a night, and you have your own pool. So after dealing with, families and just crowds, it'd be easy just to go back and relax. So after you make those quick decisions, you're basically booked. And you're ready to go. And you're ready to go have a magical time. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps.